Hi there, I'm Chef Lauren Smith, and this is Conscious Culinary, where we show you how to cook with natural partners, manufacturer partners products. And today we're featuring Euromedica. They have an awesome product called Inflamed. Now it's a really high potency patented formula of basically boswellia and curcumin for upper respiratory health, intestinal tract health, to really support your body's natural anti-inflammatory responses. So we can't really cook with a capsule. We've been down this road before, but what we can do is cook to support that type of health. And when you look at things that are absolutely amazingly beneficial for your intestinal tract, beets are way up on the list, like of the top 5 foods. So it's the time of year to use beets, and they're just fresh and ripe and beautiful right now. I actually picked them out of my garden this morning. So we're gonna do some braised beet greens, we're gonna pickle some beets, and we're gonna have this beautiful little beet dish to support the Euromedica Inflamed. So stay tuned for this one. So this is a really simple recipe, and it's actually beets prepared 2 ways, utilizing the entire beet. Now obviously the root is like this, usually about this size, sometimes smaller, sometimes bigger. And then the tops are long stems with these beautiful, rich, leafy kind of greens. Absolutely edible and absolutely wonderful for you. So I took the tops of my beets, cut the stems off, and I just chopped them about 1 inch, 2 inches thick. And we're gonna saute these quick and let them braise. And then for the beets, I sliced them up. I have 2 types. I have the candy stripe or Chioggia beets, and that's an Italian variety, and they're beautiful. They're mild and they're sweet. And then I have a bull's blood beet, and they still have a stripe. They're just more of a crimson color. They're absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna pickle these, and you can keep them and store them, and it's just a fun treat. And then the braised greens you eat fresh and hot, and it's a beautiful side dish or even a substantial dish for a vegetarian meal. So I'm just gonna show you with the beet. When they're fresh like this, you can just cut the top and the bottom right off. And then you can just take a peeler and go around and peel that thick skin right off. Now, by the way, I'm wearing white, which is one of the worst ideas ever for beets. That color, that bright pink and crimson, that stains, so do be careful. Okay, once you get all the skin, just get rid of it. Just take your beet, and we're gonna cut them about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick. We just want nice thick slices. You can almost think of like beet pickles. Get the last piece. All right. So to get started on your stovetop, I have 1 large saute pan going at a medium heat, and I'm gonna add about 1 teaspoon's worth of olive oil to that. And then I also have a pot going on a low boil. It's vinegar, xylitol, agave nectar, and water. So it's a quick pickling liquid. And of course you could add some herbs to it like bay leaves and peppercorns for some aromatics. But I just want to do a quick pickle to these beets. So while that pot's going, I'm going to dump all of these guys in, and we're going to pickle them for about 10-15 minutes or until they're nice and soft. We're going to remove them from the heat and let them cool. So I'm going to let those beets keep pickling while I work on my greens. So like I have a nice big saute pan going, and I'm going to add that olive oil. And then I'm going to sweat some shallots. Now you could use garlic, you could use shallots, you could do onion, you could do a combination. I love shallots. And I'm going to crank the heat up to a medium-high. And then all I really want is for these shallots to kind of sweat or get translucent. And you know that's happening the minute you get hit with a really strong shallot smell, like right now. So I'm going to add in about a couple handfuls of the beet greens at a time. So there's a lot of volume going on. And once they start cooking, it'll get smaller and smaller and smaller. So we're just going to saute them in a couple sections at a time. And just keep stirring, and as it wilts, add in more fresh greens. Okay, so my beet greens have completely wilted down. They're nice and soft and beautiful bright green and crimson color. So what I'm going to do is just let them braise in some chicken stock. So I'm just going to add a good organic chicken stock, about ½ a cup's worth. Then I'm going to put my heat back down to a medium, just so it's simmering. And then I'm also going to add a good 2 teaspoons worth of a nice agave nectar. Now, greens can be kind of bitter, especially beet green. So an agave nectar like this is a nice natural way to kind of counteract that kind of property. And it brings a whole new flavor out in them. So I'm just going to leave these alone and let them braise for about 7 to 10 minutes on that nice simmer. And I want to see the majority of this liquid kind of evaporate. And then they'll pretty much be done. We'll be done. We'll hit them with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then they'll be good to go, and we'll cool off our pickled beets, and there's our dish. So my beet greens are nice and cooked down. They're soft and tender and sweet and not overcooked. And I just finished them with a couple small little pats of butter. Now I think a little bit of organic, unsalted, good quality butter is just fine. If your body's not cool with that, do a little bit more olive oil just to finish it. Give it a nice kind of glossy sheen. So I'm just going to put my greens into a nice presentation dish. Now you're going to have the braising liquid. You should have a couple tablespoons of it on the bottom of your pan. These are definitely intended to stay moist. And while these were cooking too, I gave them a nice liberal sprinkle of sea salt and nice fresh cracked pepper. Now for our pickled beets, I'm going to grab a couple fresh out of the pot, but absolutely go ahead and store them in their pickling liquid and eat them cold too. It's a beautiful treat. So what I'm going to do is pick a handful of them and kind of alternate the colors. Just for presentation's sake, this is a really pretty way to do beets. You can kind of shingle them, do whatever you want. So it's prettier. And then just like that, really, really simple beet dish using all of the beet. So again, we made this because beets are fantastic for your intestinal tract health, just like the Inflamed from Euromedica. Really helps you with those anti-inflammatory responses, and it's just a very health supportive, simple, eating with the seasons kind of dish to make, and it just takes a couple minutes. So kind of go out of the box and try new things like this, beets in different ways, and maybe you don't even like beets and try them this way. I guarantee you'll find them a little bit tastier. So thanks again for watching this one, and we'll see you next time.